What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Twisted Life of TV. I'm Poetry. You are here for PNTV. This Poetry's News and Twisted Views. I got to be very cautious, you guys, because y'all already know how bad driving is in Orlando. It's raining, which makes driving gonna be even worse, and I think my tires may need to be changed. So my ability to stop ain't been doing as good as it needs to be doing rainy days. So with that in mind, I haven't been here doing PNTV directly in a minute. I haven't like research news. I just been looking at headlines, and this is a kind of mixture of what's been going on back and forth as well. While I was sleeping, I'm just gonna say that because I was choosing not to watch the headlines in detail, but while I was sleeping, Dumb Donald got on a podium and basically laid out his entire Handmaid's Tale plan for America, right? He stated that he was going to institutionalize Special Counsel Jack Smith whenever he gets back in office. Now, for me, that's threatening the office of the court. Okay? It may not be a viable threat. It may be a viable threat. But everything vile that this man has claimed he was going to do, he's done. Or tried to do at least. So I don't know why we not believing him. He also stated that he was going to arrest the entire Biden family. On what grounds? Just because he can. Okay? He also stated that he was going to put immigrants in concentration camps. He called veterans of the United States, or current military personnel as well, losers for defending the United States of America. He also said the citizens of the United States were vermin. And he's going to round up the vermin and get rid of them like he would a roach. You know, I'm ad-libbing that part right there. But that's the whole purpose of rounding up vermin, or is trying to exterminate vermin. You don't want to live with vermin, do you? Okay. But yeah, that's basically anybody that opposes him it's considered vermin, and vermin needs to be exterminated. So in the TV show Handmaid's Tale, they wondered, how did it happen? They saw it unfolding for their eyes. They went out and got to the point. And that's what I think the people of America are doing right now. They are 100% focused on, I'm not going to say 100%, 95% focused on the war over in Israel and Gaza. That they not looking at what the fuck is going on here in America, or they not focused on what's going on here in America. Because I guess they figure they can handle it at election time. Now this needs to be handled now. I am going to ask the question again. Why is this man not being tried for treason? Treason is an act of an individual who is trying to either take out the sovereign nation or overthrow the government. That's the attempts to do so. Everything that he's saying is outlining his attempt to do so. We don't need to wait for him to put it in motion for it to be considered treason. Treason is punishable by death in America. I am not normally one for killing people, but he needs to be tried for treason. Plain and simple. He's making threats against the president. Now, I remember when that comedian did a drawing with about the president, and then she had him like with his head cut off or some shit like that. Did she get in a hell of a lot of trouble for that? But this man could sit here on a podium in the campaign and make vile threats, make threats against the damn president, and nothing happens to him. He can make threats against an officer of the court being Jack Smith, an agent of the government being Jack Smith, and nothing gets done to him. This is how he's being allowed to grow, and just like a fucking fungus, his just spread his fucking vileness throughout the country because they keep allowing him to do it without consequence. So the people who are following him believe the motherfucker is untouchable. They said, well, shit, he said this, he did this, and they didn't do nothing. So he must not be lying. This person is not stopping. He must not be lying. He got to be telling us the truth, that he's the one that's in power. And if they do say something, they basically slapping him on the fucking wrist. And that's all that's telling his followers is that they really just targeting him because he's trying to teach the people. He's trying to lead us into a new way of life, a better understanding. He's trying to be a fucking dictator, is what he's trying to do. And I don't understand why people are not more serious about this. I don't understand why the other government officials, including the ones that are Republicans who are against him, are not more serious about this. What the Republicans do, they just quit. They say, fuck it, I'm not going to run no more. Because I don't want to be a part of this. Instead of standing for what is right. That's the same thing I say about fucking cops going up against other cops who they know are abusing their authority. They won't stand up against them out of fear. I understand it's out of fear. They just quit. And continuously let this type of ideology be spread. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Y'all are giving him a position of power. It's like the fucking devil to me. When I heard people say that the devil did this, the devil did that, y'all giving the devil too much fucking power. Why these people? We stop, son of a bitch. Y'all giving them too much fucking power. And I don't understand what our mentality is about. Come on. Come on. Let's do it. Get the fuck on. Come on, come on, come on. I don't understand that at all. I don't understand the mindset to keep allowing people to have this much fucking authority over you in a negative way, and it's all you do is sit back and fucking complain about it. Make some noise. Write some letters. Do fucking video. Something. I'm so sick of hearing us say how scared we are. They want you to be scared. Stop putting that shit in the fucking atmosphere. It's okay to be concerned. But stop walking in fear. Fear is what's got us here right now. Fear is what let that motherfucker get into the White House back in 2016. I told y'all when he was running for election, I wish I knew what video I said it in. All the things that he had planned on doing. And that, baby, they are coming to fruition. Matter of fact, they have came to fruition. Because when we find out about it, when we hear about it, it's already happened. Also, what is with these non-driving motherfuckers this morning? Why are we doing 2 miles an hour in the 40 mile per hour zone? Also, over the week, in regards to his wanting to overthrow the fucking government in a correlation with it, Sidney Powell and Jenna Ellis, two of Trump's former lawyers who've already pled guilty in the Georgia case, their proffer interviews were released. And I read somewhere that one of the Trump aides released them. And if it was a Trump aide that released them, why would they do that? But if it was a Trump aide that released them, did they release them as a form of intimidation again against these two women? Why would it? It don't make sense that the Trump aide would release them unless that's what their goal was, to intimidate these two women by saying, we know what you said, and I'm gonna show you proof that we know what you said. Okay? I don't understand why people ain't fucking driving. Okay, so you're going to hear my windshield wiper because it's raining like I just said. Anywho, so in their statements, they basically both just said that Donald Trump knew that he had lost the election. Now, part of Donald Trump's whole theory about his whole purpose for the insurrection and all the stuff that he'd been saying on his campaign trail about the election being stolen or rigged. This is proof to say that's a fucking lie. You knew damn well you had lost. And you just didn't care. Because your whole point was to stay in office regardless. That you were not going to leave that office. He wants not necessarily to have a second term as presidency. He wants to have complete and total power of the United States and the people within it. Or the ones he don't kill or kick out. Or throw in concentration camps. He wants 100% power over that. And I believe I said that too when he was running for election in 2016. That was one of his goals. I don't remember when, but a couple months ago I remember talking about it. I said that he wanted to get rid of the Constitution altogether, right? Now, there has been talk about things in the Constitution being rewritten or be revised, added to, or deleted from because they don't apply to current day or modern day life. When the Constitution was written, we as black people weren't even included. You know what I'm saying? So there has been talk for years about revising or rewriting parts of the Constitution, but he wants to completely eliminate it. He also wants to completely eliminate elections. If he was to get back into power, he has said he wants to rid us of elections. Now, black people, we have fought so hard in our lives, our ancestors did, in order to get us the right to vote. And women had to go through the same thing as well, just getting a simple right to vote. And here he is trying to take away that right from everybody. And how this will benefit him is that if there's no elections, then he will remain in power forever, indefinitely, until his old ass die. Just as old as Biden. It'll kind of be like, what's the word? How the royals are, how they have the king and the queen or whatever, and if that person died and somebody else in the family steps up and takes over the throne. In this case, it'd probably be Trump Jr., Don Jr., one or two, because he acts just like his motherfucking daddy to me. But yeah, that's basically his goal. It's to remain in indefinite power in a fascist and dictatorial way. Let me back up for a second. If you didn't understand what the proffer statement was, the two interviews that was released from Janet Ellis and Sidney Powell. So you can come to an agreement with the prosecutor, and almost like a deposition. However, whatever they say in this proffer interview, it's a contract between them and the prosecutors that they can provide information that can be useful in criminal hearings. These agreements are usually done with either the defendant and or other persons who are under investigation. Whatever they say will not be used against them in future criminal proceedings, which is why they are so freely explaining what's going on. It's almost like an immunity type of thing. I'm going to tell you about the crimes that I was present for. However, I won't get arrested for those crimes, even though I was in the room and I had some type of participation, willingly or unwillingly, knowingly or unknowingly. So that's what those interviews were that were released, which they shouldn't have been. So like I say, I had read somewhere, yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, that it was a Trump aide that released it. I do know that there are now former Obama aides who are finally speaking up and saying something against Donald Trump. I don't know what's taking these motherfuckers so long. I really don't. Y'all so worried about trying to make sure Biden don't run again y'all not looking at what the opposition is saying. A lot of people chose not to. They choose not to watch the Republican debate. But you need to know what these motherfuckers are saying and thinking. Because what if they win? What if they win? Then you got to deal with the consequences of the shit that they said they were going to do. Wasn't one Trump administration enough to prove that to you? That they're going to do what they said they're going to do. Trump is already going around bragging about he was the one that brought down Roe v. Wade. He's used that as part of his platform. Look what I could do. I already stripped him of one freedom. What else do you think I could do? What you think I can't do if I was able to do this? And the Republican base is so quiet. The ones who are in opposition of him, or opposition of this totalitarian type of mentality, are really still back being quite mild and meager about it. We don't know what they're saying behind closed doors, but the people that you represent, they need to know what you're saying. They need to hear you speak on this. Christie should not be the only Republican speaking on this. And I wonder if he's only doing so because he's running for president. If he wasn't running, would he still be sitting back being quiet? Because Christie was, Team Trump at one point in his political career. I haven't forgot that. Like I said, more and more evidence keeps coming out about all the things that they had planned to do prior to the election even happening. Prior to the election even happening. So they had already planned that they were not going to leave office. Steve Bannon has admitted it so many times on camera that was the plan, to never leave office, regardless of what the results of the election were, before election night even happened. You knew it was a plan because they set up all these different people to go to all these different states to try to thwart the election results, to tamper with election machines. So this plan was already in works. They didn't wake up November 6th and decide, oh, let's go down here and see what we can fuck up. No, this was planned. Which makes it an attempt to overthrow the government, which makes that fucking treason. I told y'all in last PNTV, I think it was last PNTV, maybe 2 ago, that I had read an article somewhere that Donald Trump had signed into order that in the event that he was incapacitated, that artificial intelligence would take over the government. And I was like, I couldn't find the article, but I found the executive order. He signed this executive order in November of 2020. The election happened November 6th of 2020. The election results were known prior to the date that he signed this artificial intelligence order. So he knew he had lost. He knew he had to leave office. Although, like I said, they were already planning the insurrection, in my opinion, or based off of what I've seen, or the testimony and the tapes and everything, that the insurrection was already being planned at the time that he signed this executive order, giving artificial intelligence authority over different branches or jobs within the government. I posted it on the community tab. Scroll through it and find it so you can read the whole order yourself. I posted it as the actual order. Not the article, but the order itself that he signed off on. Why in the world would you sign off something that you're giving artificial intelligence authority over the government when you were about to leave the fucking government? And I said I was going to hold my theories on it, but I'm not right now. because he was trying to overthrow the fucking government. And in the event one of his plans didn't work, he'd have plan B in place to overthrow the fucking government. This man should be tried for treason. The evidence is very clear to me. And I'm not a legal being. You're going to put artificial intelligence in key factors in government just couple weeks before you ain't even supposed to be in the fucking office anymore. You ain't got to be a conspiracy theorist to understand what the fuck is going on there. Oh, school's on. You ain't got to be a conspiracy theorist to understand that. And that was the one thing they said that Biden, once he found out about it, has now had to try to walk back in reverse. I don't understand why we always have to try to walk back or reverse shit that Donald Trump has done. When this motherfucker was in office, he was turning up everything that Obama did and rewriting executive orders to overthrow everything he did. Like they said during the debate, on day one, I'm going to do this. On day one, I'm going to do that. On day one, I'm going to do this. And here he is on motherfucking TV talking about putting people in concentration camps, institutionalizing a fucking federal agent, locking up an entire family for nothing. Just because they don't like his orange ass. It's frustrating, to say the least. So fucking frustrating. Hunter Biden, y'all know he still dealing with his gun charges, his federal gun charges. Let me reiterate what that is all about. A few years ago, I believe it was 7, Hunter Biden applied for a gun. On his application, he indicated that he had not done drugs. Well, it has since been proven that Hunter Biden does use drugs or has used drugs in the past, okay? So in the quest to take down the Biden family, Joe Biden specifically, they decided to target Hunter Biden and dig into him to see what he could possibly have done illegally. And that's one reason why they doing all this research on Biden. Because if they was able to dig so deep and find something this tedious on Hunter Biden, I'm quite sure they think they could find something on Joe. That's why they keep going. So, now Hunter Biden never even purchased a gun after he did that application. But, because I said they were digging for something, they found that he put down on this application 7 years ago that he didn't use drugs. He may not have been using at the time that he signed it. We don't know. I don't know. But Hunter Biden is saying, okay, y'all keep going after me. Every time Hunter Biden gets somebody coming after him, he goes back after them. So here's now a request from the federal judge to subpoena Donald Trump, subpoena Bill Barr, and 3 other DOJ investigators, Department of Justice investigators, in his criminal gun charge case. And basically to state how this is just harassment, so to speak. For lack of a better term, it's basically harassment, intimidation, and that's what it is. They're trying to intimidate Hunter Biden to try to get at Joe Biden. Also with James Biden, Joe Biden's brother. You know, they going after or investigating or questioning him about a loan that he had with his brother that happened before Joe Biden was even running for election, before he even got into office, before he even thought about being in office. This was after his vice presidency had ended with Obama. This happened when Donald Trump was in office. This is when this loan happened that they are now trying to say is maybe a payoff, a bribe, or something like that Joe Biden was involved in, but it had nothing to do with why he was in office. So It's not something that's impeachable. But it's a loan. You loan money to people all the time. Even the fucking prosecutor, the special prosecutor that's over the case, the one who subpoenaed Hunter and James, had a similar transaction with his own brother. Matter of fact, in the same dollar amount, $200,000. It's this, oh gosh. This is why I hate to report no politics. It gets under my skin at the stupidity that we are seeing happen since this election began. And I still stand 10 toes down on, because they were trying to get a particular candidate in office. They felt that they could use Donald Trump to help anger the people and vie support for her. It went awry because they didn't realize how much of a narcissist this motherfucker was. This is my theory. And when they start saying these really bad things about him in the campaign, mudslinging, when they started doing that, he got offended. You know, he's like a little fucking 2-year-old. He throws a little hissy fit. Oh my God. They just really trying to go after me. Oh, whatever. Little pussy boy. And so he said, fine, fuck it. I'm going to show you better I can tell you. And people didn't see him coming. They didn't understand the level of narcissism that he had. They didn't understand the level of narcissism that a lot of people in America, a lot of the racist people that woke up because of him. And that's what Vivek Ramaswamy is counting on too, y'all. Just to be honest. That's what he's look here. I'm about to run out of space on this damn camera. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video. Thank y'all for watching. I know it was some other shit I was going to talk about with it, because look, I got notes. I ain't picked my notes up at all. What was these notes about? I don't know, child. I don't even know what these damn notes was about. I know this whole PNTV wasn't supposed to be about Dumb Donald, but we need to talk about woke. Oh, they was going to eradicate the woke. That's what it is. The woke people, y'all need to wake up for real. It's one thing to be woke. I think I said this before. When I get up in the morning, I open my eyes, I'm woke. I'm not coherent. I'm not fully focused. I'm not fully stretched out. I ain't did nothing but wake up and open my eyes. It's time now to get up and do some shit and do something about it. You can be woke all you want. My off day, I was woke. I laid in the bed the entire fucking day and did nothing. My wokeness did nothing until I put action into it. Until I got my ass up and did something. Didn't mean shit that I was woke yesterday. I'm behind another motherfucker that won't do the goddamn speed limit. What the fuck is wrong with people this morning? Bye, y'all.